See, I knew I was going to be done at around 7 to 8 o'clock. Like, this look took like 7 hours. But it's because I kept changing the mouth. Like, if y'all would have seen the mouth before, I had, like, little bitty teeth going all the way around. Like, the mouth was big, like this. You know, but I'm like, nah. Change that. We ain't doing that. So, yeah, that's why it took so long. So, if you guys want to see how I created this pulled up skin She-Hulk, keep watching. So for this look, I'm only doing one brow that was already done off camera. So I use Kat Von D's 24-Hour Super Brow Pomade and Shade Tape Concealer to clean it up. And I used this brush from TG Supply, the Brow Kit Pro. It's a cool brush. So I created this nice little eyeshadow base using Colourpop's white concealer and the Tarte Shape Tape that I used to shape up my brow. Now I'm going in with the green from the Glamlite paint palette because I felt like I wanted my shadow to really, really pop. So that's why I mixed those two concealers together. And I'm just going in with that green right now to pretty much create the partial cut crease that we're going to do. And I'm pretty much just hitting that, hitting my eyeshadow with that shade all over the lid. And then I'm going to just go onto the lower lash line with it as well. Now, going back into the paint palette, I'm dipping into the black now. I call it my touch and go method because I'm only touching the brush with it, with the shade. I'm not like swiping it and swirling it in there. I'm only touching it because I only want a little bit of that black to be on my lid because we're going to, you know, you don't want too much black. So you just want to like go in with a little bit at a time because I do want to smoke out the outer portion of my eye. So that's pretty much why I'm tapping, touching, and going with the black. Just to kind of like build it up, as you can see. So now that we got that eye smoked out enough, we're going in with that white Colourpop concealer, and we're going to cut the crease using this NYX like paddle silicone brush. I don't even know what this brush is called. But now we just patting that concealer all over, blending it into the shadow, and creating the shape of the cut crease that we want. Going back into my palette, I'm going back and forth between the green and the black, mixing those two together, just tightening up the corners and blending that into the concealer. And I'm just going to pat this light green shade onto the middle portion of the eye using my finger. So I had to go in with a different palette because the palette I was using, the white shade in there, it's more like a fluorescent white, and it's like a white gold shimmery shade. It's not a true white. So this Alyssa Edwards palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills has an actual white shadow in there, and I'm just packing that onto the inner corner of my eye. And I'm gonna pop on the JLarue white gold pigment in the very inner corner of my eye near my tear duct, and I'm gonna line my eyes with the Tarte Sex Kitten liner. I really like this liner a lot. And putting on my Boldfacemakeup lashes. This is in the style Seeing Double. Now for the artsy side, we are pretty much gluing down our brow. And because you know you want this surface to be very flat, so I'm just going in with different, with multiple layers of that. And then I'm going to brush the hairs up. And then I'm pretty much going to set it with this Laura Mercier translucent powder as I chew the hell out of this gum. Going in with a Juvia's Place foundation matchstick, and I'm just gonna pretty much go all over the face with this because I didn't want to use a liquid foundation for this look, so we just gonna, you know, use a stick. It's a lot easier. And now the ambidextrous hands are going to work. We pretty much blend in both sides at the same time, and then we're gonna go over each side with the sponge anyway. So going in with Fenty's Nutmeg, we about to set the whole entire face with this powder. This is a really mattifying powder, so very little goes a long way. Taking the Fenty ProFilter Concealer in the shade 450, and I'm just pretty much contouring my jawline. Parts that'll be visible so the face doesn't look flat on this side. And now I'm just taking the Neapolitan face bar from Bakerie, and I'm just highlighting with that. This is a really nice highlighting shade in this little palette. Now for the hard part. All right, so let's get into it. I'm taking my Benefit Pro Contour Brow Pencil and using the definer in there. And I'm just pretty much outlining the shape of where this pulled up skin is going to start and end. So even though I did that side of my face with makeup, I still wanted that side to like look really glamorous anyway. Going in with Snazaroo's paint, I pretty much mixed the two of these together just to get that green effect. Because one was too light, one was too dark, so I figured like Let's mix them all together and make it one nice little green. So, you know, because the Hulk was like a certain type of green, we going in and we gonna make it that green. Now taking the what is that, A3, whatever shade that was just on your screen, and I'm pretty much just highlighting the whole entire painted area with that shade. So I'm just pretty much taking the Mehron Paradise paint palette, and I'm using black to pretty much draw out the eyebrow and, you know, put any fine lines that he may have had in this reference photo that I was looking at, and adding some of my own too. Right, so now that we finally got the shape of the mouth and the teeth that we wanted, we just filling in the teeth with white paint. Because, y'all, I had a whole bunch of teeth going around my mouth. It was not working at all, child. And then we are going to fill in the dead spaces with the black paint. We really had to go hard with this paint, though. I mean, because, you know, the design was just like not, you know, it was not working out for me. And I'm like, I got to fix it. So, you know, we had to go hard with this mother paint. Okay, let me stop. All right, now I took the Snazaroo paints and those two greens and then filled in the rest of the area of the face where the skin is going to be pulled up. And then we just shadowing the A3 shade to get it all to match. So now I'm drawing out the lines to where the skin is going to be pulled up at. So I'm using the Neapolitan face bar, and it's a contour shade in there. But I'm just looking into the mirror of the Anastasia palette. So I ain't want y'all to be like, why you doing? No, because there's no like light brown shade in this Anastasia palette. So that's why I use the Neapolitan face bar. And then I'm going to highlight behind each line that I drew using a lighter concealer. So it's like a fair concealer, but not super fair. So now we pretty much just shading in the shadows of each line that we drew. And I pretty much did that for the whole shape of the design as well, because, you know, once you create shadows, it creates a lot of depth. And that's pretty much what we're doing in between each line. So now I'm going to highlight behind each line to really make it stand out a lot. So I'm just going behind the highlighter that, not the highlighter, the concealer lines. And I'm using a loose highlighter from Chentilly Cosmetics in the shade Glow Dough. So once the shading and highlighting is complete, we pretty much pop that one contact in. Our eyes do not like contacts because we wear glasses, but we took us 3 years, but we got it done. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Stay tuned for more.